What's up, fellow collectors? I just received my Hot Toys quarter scale Star Wars Boba Fett. It is the third official Hot Toys quarter scale piece, and it is based off of the Return of the Jedi Boba. Just wanted to do a really quick sort of touching base on the packaging. Nothing too special, just nice overall box. I'm not going to show the foam, but it's really nice quality. The main sort of cover has this cool embossed like 3D foam version of the helmet, which I'll definitely be talking about later. Looks nice, cool little details. And this main sort of slip holds the overall box in place. And on the back, you have the credits for whoever worked on the figure. Really cool. Nothing special, but cool. And on the side, you have your Star Wars and Disney logos. That's the brown shipper it came in. Sorry about sort of the state of our house, but we're in the middle of moving. So it's not the only box we have here. But yeah, that's packaging. Again, nothing too special. It's nice, but you know, we've seen cooler stuff for Hot Toys' DX figures. But definitely, you know, not subpar or anything. Just a basic box. On to the accessories. Alright, so figure accessories. Figure comes with 8 total hands, so 4 rights and 4 lefts. The usual, what you've come to expect from Hot Toys. Nicely detailed, well painted, really cool looking. The one thing I will say about the actual paint up of the gloves is that, you know, they went for this really dark green. There's a little bit of a paint rub on this one. I don't know if you guys can make that out on the middle finger. But they went for this really dark green, which really kind of should have been the color that they used for the overall glove, which is this sort of lightish, beigey looking green. That's the color that they should have used for the darker parts of the glove. In the actual movie, Return of the Jedi, his glove's mostly like white, with this color being what the darker accents on the glove would be. Not a huge deal, but something they kind of, you know, missed out on. Aside from that, he comes with the blaster that was chopped up by Luke. Really nice paint applications on this thing. It's very light, not super heavy, so I don't see any issues when you're posing them up with this rifle or the other one, which is non-cut by the lightsaber. But they did a really nice job with pretty much everything here. You can really see some nice scuff marks and some weathering going on there. Really cool piece. I do not have the special edition, so if you do get the special edition, you'll actually get Jango's blaster pistol, which is kind of cool, but you know, it's not a must-have per se. The other two things it comes with are the stand plates, so I'll show you the stand when I show you the figure. But it's pretty nice because you can pose your character on either the front end or back end of the base this way, which is cool because you can change it up and both sides have their advantages. Other than that, really basic stuff. I mean, your manual, the usual packing peanuts, and that's about it. I do like the slip cover that it came with. It has a really nice close-up of Fett's visor. It's actually pretty nice to display that with the figure. I just wanted to point that out to you guys. Moving on to the figure itself. Alright, so here's Boba Fett in all his glory. I'll shoot another segment after this so you can get some idea of the overall scale of this thing. But it's huge. I mean, this guy really, really is big. Close to 18 inches, I believe, if not a little bit bigger. Paint up on him is really nicely done. Lots of cool little scuff marks and variation going on the surface of all the armor. Not 100% accurate to Return of the Jedi, especially on the helmet. It's actually quite off. But does it bother me? No. I mean, it's a beautiful piece. It definitely portrays the character. A lot of people think that sort of the front part, like the visor part of his helmet's a little bit too wide, which I can see, but I don't think it ruins the piece as a greater whole. I mean, it definitely stands out in my collection. He's my first quarter scale figure, and just the sheer size and dimensions of this guy really make it worth the while. Here's the whole rifle. Looks nice. Tough to pose though. Once you get it in the hand, it tends to kind of rub against his chest, no matter how you pose the arm, and it's hard to get it to sit sort of flush against this gauntlet. But when you do get it in there, it looks really nice, especially with a pose like this where he's kind of standing on top of the skiff like that. People have commented on his sort of Wookiee braids being too clean looking. There's a little bit of weathering on there, not much. So I do see people's point. It does kind of look like doll hair, especially in relationship to the rest of the figure. There's a lot of time spent on weathering individual pieces. But if you really wanted to change that, it's a pretty quick fix. Just give it a quick wash with maybe some darker dye. Not that you should have to for a figure of this price, but if it's really bothering you, it might be worth considering. A lot of time and effort was put into these gauntlets by Hot Toys. They do look great. I mean, the little sort of metal scuff marks and individual switches that are on these things are amazing. The downside of it is it also makes posing him pretty tough, because these things are very fragile and you kind of have to sort of tactfully maneuver around the arm to get it in the position that you like without touching the gauntlet all that much, because it really is very prone to breaking. But once you do get him in a pose, I mean, he's fairly solid, especially with the stand, holding him up. I don't really see any issues with him toppling over or anything like that. The one problem I have with my figure, and Rubio on the Sideshow Freaks forum already pointed out a quick fix for it, but I haven't tried it yet, is sort of his chest plate here. Mine came with his left sort of pec armor being crooked and kind of sticking off of the flight suit significantly. But it was pointed out to me that there's a bunch of pegs in there that you could play around with to get it to sit flush and straight, so I'm going to have to try that. But I haven't had the chance to as of yet. But right now you can definitely tell that it's a little crooked and it looks kind of strange. The other issue mine came with is this back part of the base plate. It won't sit completely flat, so I had to solve it by just putting some double-sided tape under there for now. But does the trick. His shoes are incredible. Like, they're probably the best I've seen on any figure. They're really flexible too, especially this inner part, which is kind of cool because that's the stretchy, sort of elasticy part of the boot, which is very soft and pliable. Here's his other gauntlet. Really nice. Same care and thought has been put into this gauntlet as the other one, to be expected. Very neat looking. Again, really be careful with those little pins if you do end up getting this guy, because I can definitely see those breaking. Moving on to the jetpack. I've always really loved sort of the Return of the Jedi paint up. Definitely more of a fan of the Empire Strikes Back version, but I think the jetpack is probably the coolest paint scheme of the Return of the Jedi Boba. Just love that sort of mix between orange, white, and blue and red. Really cool. It latches on with two clips that are kind of connected to a harness. It's a pain in the butt to get in there, but once it hangs, it hangs. If anything, I would have wished these straps were a little bit longer so the jetpack would have, hung a little bit lower. Boba definitely, slings his jetpack a little bit lower than how it's sitting right now. It's not a huge thing, but, and you could probably fix it, but still. The detail on the back of his sort of waist straps is amazing. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up nicely. The lighting in here is a little futzy, but lots of cool leather looking detail, individual strapping, really nice looking. And this is the actual front of the base, but it definitely looks cooler pointing the other direction. Plus you can have his foot sort of resting on that railing. And these parts of the jetpack actually rotate. Here's the cape. It's wired 2 places, so both sides. Bottom is not, but you wouldn't want it to be. Colorations of it, nice. It looks nicely weathered. Would have maybe liked to have seen a little bit more color variation on it, but again, I'm nitpicking here. And take a good look at his helmet. My rangefinder, which is posable by the way, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but it's a little bent. I've seen other people's have much more of a nick in it, where the top part literally is like crooked to the point where it's pointing 45 degrees inwards. Mine just has like a slight bend to it. I don't know if I can fix it. I might try heating it up, but yeah. I don't think the camera's gonna pick it up. But it is posable, it does come down. Right? Kind of cool looking. Overall posability of him is actually pretty good for a quarter scale figure. I'm not gonna move him too much because I really like the pose he's in. But it's nice. He's got nice joints in him that stay in place. He's capable of supporting his own weight. And I think the coolest thing about it is probably that it really captures sort of the posture of Boba Fett. It doesn't look like a figure at all. It definitely has his nice sort of lurking in the shadows / ready for action type of posture. He does look a little bit too beefy to be Mr. Bullock. But, I mean, it's not standing out to the point. It doesn't look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Boba gear or anything like that. Alright, I'm just gonna grab an object for scale reference, and then I'll give my overall next to a conclusion. Can of Pepsi. I mean, that's really big. Significantly bigger, of course, than 1/6 scale. I forgot to mention in the previous section the tools that he comes with that slide into his pouches at the bottom of his pant leg. I'm not going to take them out, they're nice. They sit in there quite snugly. Focus, focus, focus. But they are part of the accessories. Cool touch. So yeah, I mean, look how big he is. Really, really big figure. So overall, my thoughts on him are, if you're a Star Wars fan, get him. If you're a Boba Fett fan, get them. There's definitely some things that could be tweaked on this figure, but overall I really think it's a great piece to have in your collection. It's definitely something that people are going to be oohing and awing over as they come over to your house and stare at your awesome collection. So if you can get him, don't hesitate to. Not sure if the special edition with the Jango Fett blaster is worth it. I don't think you really need it, but definitely take Boba into consideration. Awesome. All right, that was it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll be uploading some of my 3D work, which includes 3D modeling and animation and sculpted stuff, as well as some 3D tutorials in the near future. And check back for my product reviews. So I'll be reviewing quite a few silicone masks and other movie memorabilia and collectibles.